Hey folks, it's Ben. We're here with another Fiero video. So we got fire extinguishers because if you've watched the last 1984 Fiero video and we didn't get it started, but we certainly did make a lot of smoke. And since the engine's completely covered in oil, you know, when it does finally bark off, it's gonna be not great. So we got that just in case, but here we have a compression tester and that's what we're here for today. Come to find out, these are not that expensive. This one ran me $30 at Canadian Tire. 14 millimeters our size, and this definitely covers it. So we're gonna go ahead, set up, pull the plugs on the Fiero again, and we're gonna go ahead and see, are we working with something here, or are we spitting in the wind, I guess is what we're gonna do. So we'll open this up and we'll get I think this is a 14 mil extension that we'll throw in there, and then we'll screw this in to that, and then we'll get some compression readings, and here we go. Okay, so for those of you that are new to the game, what we're doing is a compression test. And what that entails is we take our compression tester, which you just saw, we take out the spark plugs and we actually put it in the spot where the spark plug would be. In this case, we've got it on cylinder number 1. We take our gauge and we actually click it in here. And what we're gonna be doing is measuring how much, that wasn't really tight, how much compression's actually in the cylinder. Now, technically, I'm probably looking for about 120 PSI. And we'll crank it over a bunch, and this needle will work its way up to hopefully about 120. More importantly, though, is we want consistency amongst the cylinders. So we'll do number 1, then 2, 3, and 4. We'll go down the line, hoping that we get 120 all the way. Two things we can find out. Number 1, we don't get up to pressure, which means we've got leakage through valves or piston rings or whatever, valve cover, the head gasket. That's a problem, but more importantly, I would like them all to be fairly equal. If we find a cylinder that's down, then you're hosed. If it's not enough compression, then you're hosed. Long story short, there's only 2 answers here. It's okay, or you're hosed. So we'll have our lovely assistant hop in the car and crank it for about 5 seconds, I guess. I unplug the fuel injector, so it won't be doing anything for us. And it should turn over pretty easy because all the spark plugs are out. And they'll just arc to the block anyway. And go ahead and, if I'm on frame, give it a crank. So we got about 100 PSI on that cylinder. So that's okay. Not great, but as long as the others get about 100, we'll be all right. So we'll relieve the pressure and unscrew it and move on to the next cylinder. So we got about 80 PSI on cylinder number 2. The humming you hear is my booster running. I can turn that off for now. Re-ran it with the booster on the battery. And we did get up to just under 90 PSI. It's going to be a really loud voiceover, so I'll have to turn it down when I edit it. So we're once again 90, which is low, but it's consistent, so we got that going for us. Let's do cylinder number 3 while we charge 15 amps on this thing. Okay. So we're probably at about 95 to 100 PSI on cylinder number 3. So with this girl here, we're only getting about 65 PSI. So cylinder 4 is weak. Don't want to spend. So let's go ahead and let the battery charge up. We're painting this other one right now with pour 15, and we'll come back and we'll see if we can get it started. I'll put all the plugs back in. I'll crank it. I got the partial throttle trick. Okay, so we did the compression. We know that 4 might be a little bit weaker than the others. We know we're also full of carbon and all sorts of soot and crap and stuff like that. It says I'm full. It's not full. You're not full, little car. Kick it on full go. Takes all the amperage. 3/4 throttle right out of the gate. Let's see if we can get it to bark off and start a fire. Likes 3/4 throttle. good too. I keep forgetting segments I've shot. So anyway, I don't know if I've said, I need to cut the catalytic converter off to make sure it's not plugged and bunging me up. So we're gonna do that now. So we've got our lights and our jacks up, and we got our car sky high. We'll take a Sawzall and we'll just go snip, snip, and then we'll give it the old swisheroo and see what happens. Maybe nothing happens and it wasn't a problem, but I got a resonator pipe coming in anyway, so let's just get that thing out of here. So, drippy with oil. Top is just toast on this thing. Bet you it's the original. Got some heat shielding here. Question is, which side's the inside? This is the inside. Going inside, and I'll grab a flashlight here, and let's take a look inside and see. Oh. Okay. So this is a fluidized bed style. So exhaust actually comes in, and I believe it has to go through the medium and then out the other side. So this would be the outlet side, which you can't see without the flashlight. And yeah, you can't, it's not like the catalyst kind that actually has the honeycomb passages that you can see plugged, but I'm willing to bet it's probably not that great. Best way to do it is actually cut it open on the top, which I'll do maybe in a later video. And we'll take a look at the bed, but there's gases have to come through the medium and come out the bottom. So
I bet that's asbestos.
Oh, probably could be. That's 84 though, so. But yeah, if we take the grinder around this lip here, we could probably open that up. But let's see if it'll start now. Alrighty, so for those of you playing the home game, this will likely be very loud because we cut the exhaust off the car. So let's just go ahead and see if it'll start. And I'm gonna wear my earmuffs till I know the V6s are gross loud. And let's see how the Ford does.
Well, I guess that answers that.
So that's cute, but will it start again? Let's see if I can just turn the key without having to 3/4 throttle it and get it to go. I'm guessing she was a little plugged up on the cat because once it came around, she was around. Temperature's coming up, but the fuel gauge is toast. The voltmeter is working, but the tachometer isn't. So yeah, sweet. It's going from stuck to idling. Now, 2 issues I got. One, I do know if I have brakes or not. And 2, I gotta get my throws right. I gotta pop the console off. I'm not quite getting all 4 or 5 holes I'm supposed to get into for gears, so that includes reverse. Like, I put her in neutral, which she's been in, but I got 1 left, but like no other way. So I gotta see what's going on with the mechanism up here. So I don't know if that's, yeah, I have some issues. So gotta deal with this now. That's actually next because the motor is ready to move this thing around. How's that for awesome? Seized motor too. It's got propulsion. We got it running if you didn't catch the last episode. So that's awesome. We can't test it though because I don't have any shifting capabilities yet. So we need to get in here. The video of the trip to the salvage yard told me that there's some buttons up here that help my shifter do its thing. And it's just not the happiest thing around. And shout out to the guys who hacked up my dash. Appreciate that. We'll figure that one out too. Actually a little bit further forward even. But this thing is packed with mouse stuff. So we have the up and down, right? We're supposed to have left and right. And that's where we're just not. And these are all dry, rusted. Yeah, it's gonna go way over for reverse. So we have some fun to do here, but I'm thinking I think that's reverse because that's hitting the neutral switch here. So we have reverse and then there's nothing below it. Shouldn't be anything below it. Middle. So I should be, but according to this, I'm not. I'm in, it's my shift pattern, 3 to 4, over 1. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Is that a different gear? No, I don't think it is. So, but this all needs lubrication. So we're just gonna hose the hell out of this down and get the picker thing and pick the hell out of that. And we'll be right back. So we're gonna try to throw it in gear and back it up and try not to squish any of the kitties over here.